Hey, it's time for the lightning round.
If I saw someone cosplay him, I would throw up and cry.
Hell yeah, we're gonna do it. It's the multiverse. Ride or way, baby.
You are listening to the official Anime Podcast. This is the way.
What's going on, guys? I'm Stephanie Nadali, the OG voices of Get Goku, Goku Flying Nimbus, and the voices of Gohan from Super Saiyan Cell Saga, as well as Iskai, I'm the Queen. And don't forget Baby Trunks. Ah! And you are on Anime.
Huge thank you to the voice actress Stephanie Naldoni, who we met at Anime Corpus Christi, which this podcast is brought to you live at. Anime Corpus Christi was absolutely amazing. The weather was great. It was right by the beach, and for a con in its first year, I think they really knocked it out of the park. I really enjoyed myself. I found myself more so enjoying the con and shopping at all of the vendor booths than I did really taking pictures. I had a lot of fun, hoping to go again. And if you haven't been, definitely think about checking it out. Also, huge shout out to one of our sponsored cosplayers at Bonkia42, who is not only a vet, but also a teacher at DeSalle Middle School. So we sent off some backpacks and just want to show some love. We're all about the future. And so without further ado, here is episode 6 of the Anime Podcast, where we have 3 very special guests with us, and we talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So let's get into it.
Kira, hi. I also go by the name, Lady Mandalore, or if you're really old school, Oracle. I'm a very big fan of Batman, and please respect it. I am building a community that I have under the name Roomful of Blerds. If you would like to participate in that, if you feel like you are a creator and you need a safe space to come to where I will protect you fiercely, please find me on Instagram under Roomful of Blerds. That's my home base. Yeah,
Nice.
That's me. I also work with, as I pass it off to my friend, Mr. Chris Fury.
Hello, everybody. It is your man on the wall, Chris Fury from BlerdsEyeview. You know who it is. As my esteemed, illustrious co-host, Lady Mandalore, has mentioned, we air every Tuesdays and Thursdays. We talk geek topics, entertainment, and more from a POC point of view. We also showcase POC creators in the entertainment field, like Anime here. We're gonna get to you guys because our season is ending. So trust me, the lineup is getting ready to get pretty full real quick. But we talk about all types of geek topics and we have fun. So like I said before the show, it's a cross between our Arsenio Hall show, Saturday Night Live, and the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. So you are guaranteed to have some fun when you come in, whether it's your first time coming onto a podcast or whether it's your millionth time coming onto a podcast. It's going to be like you're at a Black family barbecue. You're going to have some fun. This is a safe space.
I love it.
You're going to have a blast.
Nice. And last but definitely not least,
Can't wait for the drunk uncles to start fighting on that podcast.
The fact that he got him, we just said that.
Yes, but hello. I am Michael Mosley, also known online on Twitch and whatnot as Fox Daddy. And don't worry, we went through this whole spiel. If you don't want to say Fox Daddy, it is okay. You can call me Foxy, or you can just call me Mike or Michael. Fox D, that also works. As long as you remember the handsome face. I am editor-in-chief at Bago Games. I am also a host for the nerdstash.com's video game-centric podcast called Power Up and Game. And every now and again, I also get to do some other stuff like this and meet some pretty cool people. I am a content creator now. I've gone from video game journalism to content creating, which you can find me on TikTok, which I finally hit 500 followers. So that's cool, no? You can also find me on Twitter and, of course, on Twitch, where I am trying my hardest to do a whole lot better at that. I feel like Peter Parker talking to Doc Ock because I'm trying to do better.
Okay. I don't think I mentioned it in the beginning. We are coming at you live from Anime Corpus Christi. So right here we're in Central Standard Time Zone here. Me, Mr. Fox Daddy, but these two lovely individuals over here. You guys are on the East Coast. Is that correct? Where exactly?
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm in New York City. Yes.
And I am in lovely Ohio.
Okay. And
I say that with disdain because the weather changes literally.
Yeah, poor
like
thing.
we literally had a 70-degree day yesterday, and then it went to 30 today. We live on a hellmouth. What can I say?
Oklahoma has its own weather too. We don't even have to pay attention to groundhog anymore.
No.
It's just whatever happens. Yeah. But I used to live in New York for 6 years, so I feel so bad for you. I hated the winters up there. Those things were horrible, and I don't know why anybody other than a Yeti would choose to live up there in that time of year, because oh my goodness, I despised every moment of gray skies and white snow on the ground.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse in Cleveland, Ohio, than seeing snow, and you're just like, so I got to deal with the snow and the drivers. Yeah, that's not cool.
Hey, that's okay. In Oklahoma, we get like half-inch of snow and everybody forgets how to drive. So that's horrible.
In Texas, we get any kind of blitz of snow and then everyone loses their mind.
If there's a powdering of snow, people just start to their cars and start spinning around.
This is not happening. The world is ending.
I don't know, man. You get a little bit of snow, your power grid's just like, I'm not doing this. I'm hibernating. So it's twice as bad over there, man.
Oh man.
Well, it's crazy because we were just talking about this recently. We said, hey, it really is a psychological thing for some of the people who don't get the snow, because the minute the car actually just slides, you're like, oh, this is it. You know what I mean?
your whole mind goes to survival mode because you think
exactly.
This is the end.
There's a match on the road somewhere. They're coming.
My mom was like that. Her biggest fear for some reason is black ice. Like, it's not just the snow. As soon as it snows, the first thing on her mind is, oh, there's gonna be black ice on the road. I'm not gonna be able to see it, and I'm gonna go out of control and like end up in a ditch somewhere. It's like, that is a very specific fear to have, mother. I don't understand that, but sure.
What was the sketch comedy? Was it SNL?
No, it was Key and
Peele. Black ice and white snow.
Black ice and the white snow.
Well, the white snow. You need to look out for the.
My favorite.
That's it.
Black ice crept up me while I was at the ATM and robbed me of my balance.
Sound like my mom.
Look, moving forward here, guys, we appreciate you all coming here and being with us tonight. I know it was a little hard coordinating, but we all got here, and thank you for that. Now, if you, and we're gonna get more in depth, but I just kind of want to see everybody's facial expression. If you had to give Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, she always keeps me on point, right? If you had to give it a facial expression, right? What facial expression would you give, and go?
I feel like I'm on the spot.
I like that. He was like, okay. So that being said, those of you who aren't actually watching this and listening, you can't quite see the facial expressions. But let's unpack that, right? Miss Kira, explain. Like, how did you feel about the movie?
Hey guys, it's Daniel with Anime Corpus Christi. We want to give you a huge thank you for being here. If you weren't here, you missed out on 3 days of anime awesomeness, and we hope to see you next February. And big thanks to Anime for helping us out.
Why are we here? Like, why are we here? How do we get specifically here? I'm gonna do my thing. Okay, I feel like this should have been a Kang origin story. This was not supposed to be an Ant-Man movie. This should have been a Kang origin story. And
this was the story of Jesus.
Yes.
Black Jesus.
Yes. How he is risen back from the great beyond to monkey stomp on an ant. That is what this movie should have been about. That's what the focus should have been. I mean, Ant-Man is Ant-Man. But Kang is Kang. Okay, like I don't think they had the right character to go up against him. It didn't fit. It was kind of disjointed. I feel like they could have found a different family for him to go up against. And I know that there's an issue with the properties, and it should have been Fantastic Four. But this wasn't rocking. Like, I would have rather seen him and Hulk figure out that dynamic compared to Ant-Man.
Okay. So moving forward, Mr. Fury, explain your facial expression.
Hey guys, I'm Pastelpan.da and I'm at Anime Corpus Christi and I'm here with Anime. This is the way.
I didn't think it was bad. Because it's literally the start of phase 5. It's the springboard. It's setting things up for a casual MCU moviegoer. They would be lost. This is geared more towards people who's read comics, and they like, oh, you're in for a ride because you have no idea what's getting ready to come. It's getting ready to get kind of ugly. But like most of my blurred brethren, we were here for Black Jesus. We were here for Black Jesus. We like Paul Rudd. He's always invited to the barbecue. It was just, it's one of them things you gotta work the balance. You just like, this is Jonathan Majors. This man is becoming actually one of the hardest working men in Hollywood right now. Like, he's got 3 movies out right now.
All right.
And so I wasn't mad at it. I seen some wasted roles, but it wasn't from the main cast.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Are we talking about the man with the little butt cheek and the big head? Is that what we're
no.
Is that who
I
we're
actually
talking
no.
about?
I actually liked MODOK. I thought it was funny. People they wanted him so bad in the live action world, and I'm like, you got him. Let's face it, MODOK is he in the comics, he is jokey looking. He is definitely a threat.
Honestly, I thought MODOK looked. I was just like,
that's
MODOK. Like,
but there's really no other way.
Baby arms, big old head. Just
but there's really no other way to like infuse him into the live action MCU and say, oh, he's a big bad. You're just kind of like, yeah, not him.
If you say so, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
kept the mask on him. That mask kind of
the mask gives him the evil look.
Right.
And this is there. Let's face it, it's hard transferring from page to screen. It's really hard. We've seen it in WandaVision, the Halloween episode. We're just like, oh yeah, Vision's actual look would not have worked well. It just would not. Scarlet Witch, maybe so, a little off, but it's passable. But his, not so much. No. So having someone like MODOK, you're just like, how do we go from page to screen and make him serious looking? And you really don't. It was like he's even Iron Man is like, yeah, he can be a threat, but he's still a running joke. So I like the fact of them explaining how Darren got there, because people see the first Ant-Man and they're just like, oh, he's dead. But then when the quantum realm is introduced, you forget. I'm like, no, he didn't really die. He just went to the quantum realm. He just distorted. I was like, okay, yeah, you made sense of that.
because he did kept shrinking. So it and I mean, if MODOK was gonna show up anywhere in the MCU, the quantum realm, with like how I did like how different all of the aliens look. There was one in particular, I think, was it the one
gave me Star Wars vibes.
The cantina.
We'll unpack that even more. But I'm very interested in Mr. Fox. Your expression, if I recall, was like something to that effect.
Definitely sleeping.
So yeah. Can you tell me what that means? Like what was your take on the movie?
Hi, this is Mark Adams out at Anime Corpus Christi. I'm with SanJapan, the largest anime and gaming convention in South Texas, hanging out with Anime. Come out and check us out September 1st through the 3rd.
this was such a bland, boring, pointless filler of a movie.
Oh.
Like, I almost regretted going to the theaters to see this. I wasn't mad. I walked out like, yeah, it was a thing it's a thing I saw. And the only reason I saw it was because I was going to do this and I was doing the podcast for the Nurse Stash. I was like, well, there's 2 reasons for me to go see this. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. This is a Disney Plus movie. If you're sitting there wondering, should I go to the theater? Should I go to a matinee? Don't even waste your money on a matinee. You're already spending your matinee money on Disney Plus every month.
Yeah.
Watching on Disney Plus. Honestly, this isn't really worth it. It really was a Kang movie. I'm glad that Marvel went this direction where they learned from Thanos. Like, oh, we can make fun villains. People like Thanos. People like Killmonger. People they even like Loki. We keep bringing Loki back. So we have a villain problem. But sometimes when we get a villain right, people want more of that villain.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that they're introducing him now instead of like teasing him like they did with Thanos in like the first arc.
Oh.
So I'm glad this pretty much the second half of the movie was a Kang movie.
Yeah.
And it kind of made you wish like, I wish we had more Kang. Like you teased him like, oh, in the past he knew Janet, and like we could have gone with that story a little more. I want to see more of Janet and Kang together
because you already know.
That was kind of cool, and we can learn a little more about Janet and what she had to go through in the quantum realm. And that brings up my issue with this movie: way too many characters doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Janet was wasted. She was just exposition when they could have just showed, not tell, because she was already there. So you had an excuse to show more of it.
They dragged it out.
They dragged that out. Oh my goodness, Hank, man, they wasted Michael Douglas. Oh my goodness, Hank did absolutely. He could have just been in the real world outside the quantum realm, and this movie would have changed absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
They wasted him. Hank was a waste. Cassie, I'm glad they're trying to make her more of a character because they really made her part of Lang's Scott's stories. Like she was his running plot line, right? Like he wants to be a better father, and now he has a way to do it by being a superhero rather than just being a criminal, something she could be proud of. And I was really hoping, like, okay, you did that in the first movie. You kind of continued in the second movie. The third movie, now you have her in the movie as a character. We could run with that. We can do a father-daughter story. She has a suit now, which Lang didn't know Scott didn't know at first. And it was kind of cool that she went with, I want to be more like my dad. Like she could have easily had a wingsuit, you know? She could have easily gone the Wasp route, but you can tell she loves and respects her dad so much. She wanted an Ant Woman suit, you know. She wanted to be like her dad. I don't need to fly.
She's stature.
Yeah.
And my dad is smart. He's good at what he does. Like he became an Avenger without having to fly or need superpowers. Like he's good at what he does. I want to be more like my dad. And I really, really wanted them to run with that storyline where it was about Scott and Cassie. This should have been their movie. This should have been their story. We've already built it up from the first two. This should have been it. This is where all the emotions could have came from. Okay, they kept teasing us, like Cassie keeps going to jail. Oh wow, Scott has that experience. He can actually share that with her and let her know why this is wrong. I'm like, hey, you had the opportunity to do more than what I did. Now that this world full of superheroes, you've proven that you're smart. You saw how I messed up, how much time it took from you, how it messed up my relationship with your mother and caused a divorce, and how I just accidentally became a hero. And I've learned from that, and I want you to learn from it. But instead, it was always Cassie going off and doing her own thing, and Scott just like putting on a puppy face, like, oh, well, okay. Like, no, Scott, this is your chance to be the father you kept saying you wanted to be. Where you're like, okay, you know what? No, we're stopping this right here. I'm nipping in the bud. I'm telling you right now, this whole life of criminal stuff, it's not worth it. You have an opportunity to do so much better. And I'm going to teach you how I learn so you don't lose out on time with whatever relationship you have going forward. It didn't play into that storyline. I want to see more of Cassie and Scott together. Like this should have been a father-daughter story. And
that dynamic that you mentioned, the key point that the key time I remember is when they were both in prison and they were like, how many times for you? 3, 4, you know what I mean? Like, so
he was like 4.
So that you're saying you wish you would have saw more of, basically.
Yeah, this whole thing ran off of Scott going after Cassie, which I love. It's like, okay, this makes sense. These two being together makes sense because you've been building it up in the first 2 movies. And even if I'm so glad, this is one thing I will give it praise for. I'm so glad they didn't do the thing to where Cassie was just a brat who's like, whatever, dad. You know, we're talking about dad.
Well, see, here's the thing.
I was
he's the
worried
thing.
it was just gonna be
started
one of
to.
those, like,
It did feel like it was going in that direction.
Here's the thing. He's
weren't
really
here
been
yet.
such a great father all this time. He's just second guessing himself.
Yeah.
And she's always looked up to him because he went to prison for doing a good thing. But
For trying.
you know, he was being a good guy, he's seen corporation doing wrong, and they caught him for stealing, but he was doing a Robin Hood situation.
Yeah.
She was out protesting. She's every bit her father.
Yep.
She's every bit her father, and she's always you see it in the movies, she's always looked up to him, but he felt like, you know, these situations keep taking him from her. But she never once
blamed him. Yeah, she never blamed him for
just to blame him, because she was like, because it's like, even though she's a child, she knows like your dad's a hero. Like your dad is really a good guy. Like when you're with him, you have the best time. When he's away, you know what happened. You know?
And I do like that she teased him about being a hero thing. Like in some movies, if they'd be like, well, you were too busy out saving the world rather than being with me. She was more like, it's like, man, Dad, you used to save the world. How come you're not still doing it? Why are you being low key about it? Like, go with it. And I'm so glad, because most kids.
I mean, he had a book release.
I'm remembering it
She made
differently.
fun for the book. Oh man, the book.
I'm remembering that scene in the car differently, because I feel like she was trying to say that she was out here in the world doing something while she is challenging him. Well, what have you done? And he actually has to say, well, Hooker, I actually did something that you're trying to do on a bigger scale.
Much bigger,
She does say that. It's just she's more like, but what have you done since then?
She didn't want him to be low key. She wanted him to keep being that hero.
More like he was so gung ho, and then suddenly it's just like, here's my little book deal. So it's more like the complacency that's just like, and it's like your hero who like was out doing stuff, and then you meet him, and then it's like,
and now they just don't care.
No more.
And see, that's what I really liked about. And that's what I like about the writing for Cassie. Because usually when movies do this stuff, they make the kids so annoying that you don't root for them. I was rooting for Cassie. I was like, Scott, man, she's every bit like you. Like this should be a cool learning moment for you. And like there was one scene where they both became, I don't know how much spoiler we're getting into this.
No, we're doing full spoil. Getting there.
Okay. When they both finally got the chance to be both giants, and they had that embrace, that was so cool. Like, oh man, because they only had those small moments where Scott tried to teach her how to use the powers correctly. And she would do the thing where she would jump and try to hit somebody, but she couldn't hit him. I was like, this tap. That should have been the movie. I wanted more of that. That was so amazing. So when they did embrace, it felt like a payoff, because Cassie wasn't a brat. It was deserved. Like she wanted to be more like her father. And so when you see that, you're just like, that's what I want to see from this movie. I want if we're gonna go full Cassie, I want more Cassie and Scott, because for a movie called Ant-Man and the Wasp, wasn't a whole lot of Wasp.
Hope didn't really do a lot. Hope didn't do a lot.
Oh man, Hope looks so bored in this movie. Like, so I'm just a catalyst for my exposition spinning mom, my dad who's just sitting there with his hands and some gummy worms, and I get one scene where I get to save Scott. Cool. I'm so glad this is called Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I mean,
you call them gummy worms.
Man, them things were gummy worms, man. You saw those giant worms.
She does more for the company than anything, and that's a good role for her because of what she's doing with it. But
they made her Pepper Potts.
They did make her Pepper Potts. Good Lord. But as far as Cassie, like in every Ant-Man film we've seen, including and in Endgame, in every version of Cassie we've seen, we've never seen Cassie disregard her father, never hate her father, never look down to her father. She has always looked up to that man, and he has done everything.
Yeah, when you're in a world full of superheroes, if your dad was a superhero on the Avengers, yeah, dude, you're gonna be the most hyped up kid ever. Like, I don't know
Like,
any
and
kid
that was the
that would
thing.
not
The
be
fact
proud of
that
him.
the fact that when he first got into the suit, she was so freaking excited. She got a pet ant out this whole thing. You know,
She was a real little kid. She wasn't some movie version kid. She was a real kid who's like super excited about my dad's a superhero. He can shrink. He can
he
talk
do
to
card
ants.
tricks.
He do
This
card
is
tricks.
cool. This is cool. Like,
Yeah,
my dad's cool. I like having fun with my dad.
Yeah, she
And
was a kid in a cane shot with her dad, and like I love that they went that direction to all three movies. I'm so glad they didn't change that up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, so Jay, what was your take on the movie? Let the people know how you feel.
the latest in geek topics, entertainment, and more, tune in to Blerd's Eye View while showcasing the latest in Blerd talent. Listen to Blerd's Eye View wherever you listen to podcasts, or watch live Tuesdays 8:30 p.m. Eastern and Thursdays 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
So, I mean, I enjoy. I mean, I thought it looked beautiful. I liked the whole getting to explore the quantum realm, but I did kind of want more Kang like background. Like, okay, so it was so like ambiguous, just like I'm here, and I wanted to know more like with like Janet down there and Kang's interaction too. I did like I agree with Fox Daddy with the Scott and Cassie thing. That was some of my favorite parts. So it's just like, and like I don't really know why Hank or why like they could have like had Wasp and all of them out, and it just
Hank was the
like,
clutch. He
Scott
was the
and, like,
clutch. I will say
Cassie,
that
like
much.
figuring it out together and like and then the whole Kang thing. But it was, I will say, going in, I was just like, we really don't. Ant-Man really gonna take on Kang.
Which
it was more
really...
it was more like Ant-Man and the gang. You know,
Yeah. Boy, watching Ant-Man get stomped out was actually kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I like Scott Lang. I can't even say his name right now. Paul Rudd. Yeah, I like him. The guy is great. But watching Ant-Man get stomped out like that,
I absolutely
it did something. You almost felt conflicted. Oh, you almost felt conflicted because he's such like in everything he's in. He's such a good guy. He's always funny to watch.
You like
but
him.
I kind of want to see it stomp out Ant-Man a little bit. I do. I just. Are you gonna kill him, dear Disney? It's okay if you take this one out. You can bring him back. You can bring him back.
Like honestly, one of the like whenever like we talked about this before, and I said out of all like the Marvel movies, the one that shocked me that I really enjoyed was Ant-Man, because it's like Ant-Man, and like I mean I'm familiar with the comics and all that, and like but it was just like. I mean, it's Ant-Man, like compared, but I really enjoyed the movie. So I love Paul Rudd and I love Scott. But
and I understand that. I'm just saying it was
like Kang was just taking him out. I was just like,
it was fun.
That makes sense.
I just find it very humorous that there's a general consensus here where everybody's like, that boy got that ass whooped.
Black History Month just got
started.
When he was
like you said, why they gotta be Paul though? They get right. Paul's invited to a cookout, man. Why you gotta be Paul? It
could have been John Walker. We would have been fine.
Yeah, you know what? Even Bucky. It could have been Bucky.
Oh God, no! I need evil Bucky. I need more evil villains in Marvel. I need them to step up the game with that.
Yeah, and I think that's why we really like Kang, because Kang was going for the kill. Oh my!
This is what I've enjoyed about Jonathan Majors, because he said it in an interview. He says, "He who remains, who you've seen in Loki, will not be that version of Kang. Will not be the version you get in Quantumania," and it wasn't.
No, and I love the way they tease it. They're gonna let Jonathan go all out with all these Kangs. It's gonna be some different version. Oh my goodness! Man. And the best part is he already came out and said that the writer who wrote this movie, he's doing Kang's Dynasty. So take that with a bit of food.
Ooh.
But
yeah, he's about to leave him cut loose.
yeah, he's already Jonathan already said that the writer has already spoken to him about where he wants to take Kang for Kang's Dynasty. So Jonathan Major gets he gets a little bit of say so in that. So
we are in for a ride.
Yeah, I can't wait. Now I really can't wait to see that one.
Okay.
Kira, your time daddy will suffice, I suppose.
I what is that? That's That's still 7, right? I got Fox Daddy now.
Yeah, so it's on 7 now.
I need 3 more, and then my ring set will be complete.
Those who don't know,
with that said, you talking about Jonathan Majors, man, is it kind of creepy that I see that he's kind of being like the next Chadwick Boseman, like coming out of nowhere, getting all these hits?
He's in that camp. He is in that camp. He has quickly risen up.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in anything. I haven't seen him in anything that I disliked. I'm just like, this brother can act.
Yeah.
He can act.
You know, he's safe. Like, he's a lock. Like, if whatever you
put
him in, it's a lock.
Every time
range
he show up
a
on the
lot.
screen, he had that
presence,
that emotion, that presence. Like whatever he was just like, oh, I don't like. I was like, oh, he gonna fuck y'all up.
He told Modoc, don't speak when I'm in.
He didn't even look at him.
He
didn't even look at him. He was like, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
He was 1 second away from saying, sit your $5 ass down. He was 1 second because he had this. I'm like, it's the villain who stands up, talks slow,
right,
and at an even tone. That is the worst. It's the one that's the most dangerous.
Yeah, but he actually delivered with his stuff. Like his threats weren't just like
he was like, "Oh, you're gonna get these hands." I told you you're gonna get these hands.
No, it's more like, no, I'm a businessman. I'm telling you something's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to stump you out. I'm going to stump you out.
I'm letting you know.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, it's not even a threat. It's a fair warning. I'm being a gentleman.
Yeah.
I'm warning you.
I'm allowing you to get ready. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like all the smoke. Go ahead, put your hands up. I'm not going to sucker punch you. Just get your hands up and come at me. Like that's how it's going to go down.
Gonna catch it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna catch you while you're taking off your shirt.
Yeah. He ain't gonna sneak you or nothing. He just
I'm gonna stand here patiently and wait for you.
He's what they call time. He's what they call. We're gonna shoot a fair one. All right.
Now, so that one of the scenes I recall very vividly was when he was threatening Ant-Man as to what he was gonna do to his daughter. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's gonna happen, right? So I'm gonna just keep on killing her and having you. Like, I was like, ooh, that's aggressive.
I looked around almost in the theater. Was just like, yo, he meant that.
That is not an empty promise. That is.
And then give him a taste of it by putting her in a lock too. It's like,
right? I was like, it's gonna start.
Didn't I tell you?
I'm not just doing it to you. I'm gonna do it to both of y'all. I'm gonna show you right now, man. Like, I'm serious about that. And boy, she was in agony. The fear on Scott's face. It's like, yeah, man, I understand. Like, boy, to that, I'll be real quick. Like, hey, man, I'll help you be Hank. I'll help you be Wasp.
I would never survive. Like, I always say, like, look, I will give up on a paper cut. So, I'm just like, oh, what you need to know? You ain't gotta tell me nothing. Like,
you are old Captain America or young Captain America? I can tell you where they both are right now.
I know where they're at. I can take you there.
I know where they're at.
Let's get this shit together so we can go and do that.
Yeah, I like how with Kane, like, he's a man of his word. Like, that was kind of a running thing for them. He's a man of his word. When him and Janet was fixing up the time machine, he was like, I'll help you get home. I won't even destroy your planet. You can tell he was telling the truth. Yeah. Like, it wasn't just, oh, I will help you. It's like, no, I'll leave you alone. You saved me.
And Janet knew that. It was just that
she couldn't risk it.
I'm giving up other worlds.
Other worlds, yeah.
That was her thing. She was like, I know you're not lying to me on this. However,
so that whole time where this one time the misunderstanding actually works to the movie's advantage is when he said, yeah, you do this for me. You give me back my time sphere. I'll give you Cassie back. Like, no problem. He could have easily killed her or had MODOK kill her. Instead, he was sending her back to the prison. It's like, yeah, when your dad gives me the sphere, I'm gonna let you go. And before she made her escape. And Ant-Man, of course, he's like, homeboy, last time I saw you, my daughter was with you. So why are you here? And my daughter MODOK's not. So when he got the thing, that whole, like, you lied to me, I understood that part. It's like, okay, because if he would have brought Cassie with him, it would have been a different story. But instead, he was sending her back to safety, back into a cell. And so from that one, as a father, you're like, hey, nah, homeboy, we had a deal.
That ain't what we discussed.
That's not what we said.
Yeah, like switch room, my guy. Where's my daughter? So, like, when you're in a superhero state, of course, you think you're a villain. You lied to me, so you're gonna go after him. So that was like the one time a misunderstanding actually worked, where I wasn't like, oh my gosh, you guys, if you would just done this. I was like, no, he was sending her back to the prison for safekeepings. Like it was so much. He didn't have MODOK with her. That's how much he was like, yeah, your dad did his thing. You're safe. Like, take her back to the cell. You can go pick her up like a pre-order. So I was like, that's cool. So this version of Kang was a man of his word, and I really like that in the villain. When a villain has a set rule and he sticks by that
for themselves.
He has a moral code,
right.
like a villain with a moral code. He's gonna stick to it.
Yeah, it's like
he's
I'm
probably one of the few he's one of the few villains in the MCU who has spoken true on everything he said. He really had and it was no flaw. I didn't catch a flaw in what he was doing. Killmonger, he had a flaw. Ultron had a flaw. Thanos had a flaw. Loki has a flaw. Kang, he was just like, I know what I'm doing. I have a set goal. If you're in my way, we're done with you.
Like you have to make yourself.
I say, then you're fine.
Yeah, you have to make yourself his enemy. Because there was a whole rebellion. He was like, okay, whatever, I'll just build an army. Like I could ease what you guys out, but guess what? There's no point because I'm building an empire. I don't really care. Once I get out of here,
y'all just doing your own thing.
You guys are.
I'm trying to get involved with y'all. I got my own plans. Y'all slow me down.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my ship working, man. So it was really cool to see. We went from Thanos, who went from in the comic books just I want to destroy everything, to I want balance. Like there's way too much going on in this galaxy. To where in the movie Thanos was like, I get that. I get this Thanos. He's still evil, but I get him. With this Kang, or at least this version, it's like I kind of get it because there are an infinite amount of him already come to destroy the worlds anyway. So really, he's not even a villain. He's kind of like an anti-hero in a way.
He's probably one of the more dangerous.
Yeah, the most dangerous.
He's the more dangerous, which is why he was exiled. He was like, oh no, he's willing to do what he needs to do.
Yeah, because it really seems like he's the version of Kang, like the one who remains, who's trying to lock it down.
Yeah.
But the way he was trying to lock it down was more of, instead of lying to people with the TSA.
Oh yeah, TSA,
yeah. With that group, the TSA, yeah. Instead, he was just like, I'm just gonna be the one, just like the one King, lock it all down, just me, plain and simple, no timelines, no fraternizations, like it's just gonna be me. So I can understand why he was exiled. It's like, man, I like this King the Conqueror, just to find out that he may not be the King that we see.
Or is he?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like we don't know.
Exactly. It's just like
because he didn't die. It was assumed he got sucked into that probability sphere.
Yeah.
Same thing Scott was in. He's got time.
Nothing but time. Yeah.
He's got sucked in. He's going to be facing himself.
Plus, they didn't destroy that sphere. That sphere is still intact.
Yeah.
Isn't it fair to say that it's technically speaking, he's not going to be the same Kang that went in there, because he has all of these probabilities that are around him, and there's only going to be one that actually makes it out.
It's going to be him,
but we
just
know
don't know which one. And that's a theory.
The probability. Well, because I already know, like in that sphere, the way that Scott had to do things, like they just got real confused, and only they fused back together because they wanted to help Cassie.
Yeah.
But this Kang, he's so full of himself to where he wants to be the one to lock everything down, that I think his probabilities would kill his other probabilities.
Yeah.
Where they just end up going to just have their own civil war.
Except for Baskin Robbins, Scott. You know,
he was just like, that poor guy.
I'm like, oh, you're the one that kept your job. Okay.
You don't want to become Ant-Man. So he's just like, what is this? I'm so scared. And it's kind of funny how there's only one probability of Scott not becoming Ant-Man.
I know.
He's like, what are you guys wearing? What are you wearing?
And it was only because he didn't get fired from Baskin Robbins. So, like you being fired was actually a really good thing. Like Thanos would probably won if Baskin Robbins didn't fire him. So like that's kind of scary to know that in Avengers, Doctor Strange said like, yeah, there's only one version that we win, and in this movie there's only one version where Scott doesn't become Ant-Man, and as we saw in Endgame, Ant-Man was pretty much the key to it. So like, that's really screwy. Like, oh my goodness. Like,
see, this is the beauty. This is the beauty of them introducing the multiverse. I've read the What If comics. I've read Exiles. I've read all those, and so it's always fun to see a different version and see how it plays out.
Right.
Because, like, case in point, nobody knew that Ant-Man would be the Herald of Galactus. Nobody's seen that coming, but you know, it was still fun to read, you know. So to see those versions of Ant-Man and to see these different versions and see Doctor Strange say, hey, there's this one. There's all these different probabilities, but it's really got to be just that one. Like, this is the path you got to take, because if you don't, it's going to branch off into all these weird things that's going to happen, and it's not going to go the way we need it to go. So seeing like Scott in that probability sphere and him, they got to the point where they were actually working like ants. Like they were working like ants. They worked together. They was like, no, we're doing this for Cassie. And that was the switch. It was like, for Cassie, doing it for Cassie.
Yes, that was the one thing. Yeah.
You know, and they were like, if everything else fell to the wayside, but they're doing it for Cassie. And they were like, yeah, let's help them. We're doing this for Cassie.
And like that really hammers on like the love that Scott has for his daughter, despite all the years that he missed. Because if there are infinite probabilities, it is amazing how all those probabilities, they still have that one thing that brings them together, and that is Cassie. And I was like, man, that is amazing. That no matter how many probabilities, there's always that one thing. Cassie was always that one thing for him. She's like from Ant-Man 1 to 3.
She's kind of the most consistent thing throughout the entire MCU.
Yeah.
It's always about Cassie.
Cassie has
Hope is just a side thing. Yeah. Hope is just a side thing.
Yeah.
Like he's found love, but it's always been about Cassie. You know,
always been about Cassie.
Okay.
He's like,
oh man. I do. You know, I'm sorry. I do want Cassie to take over as the Wasp. Like anytime there's an Ant-Man in the Wasp movie, I want to be Scott and Cassie, because they had way more chemistry than he ever had with Hope. And I was like, I want her to be
I like what they're getting ready to do. They're introducing the Young Avengers. That's exactly what they're doing, you know. And they are. We've already seen Patriot. We've already seen Speed and Wiccan. We've seen Stature, which is Cassie. We've seen we've seen the latest Falcon. Yeah, we've seen Hawkeye. We've seen the latest Falcon. Miss Marvel. They're going to show. You know. Yeah.
With that terrible
me and Lady Mandalore talked about it on Blurred. It was like that's got to be. I want to see the episode where that was the longest trip back to Earth, like because he shows up, he looks like the kid that got scolded, like you got yelled at on the ride home, the whole ride home.
Bro, you were made fun of at school. Your dad disappointed in you. You know. You're like this close to running away. Yeah.
He got that call. He was like, yeah, I got to go get my kid from school. He messed up again. I got to go.
It's what Hope introduced us. Like, hey, everybody.
Yeah, I'm his dad.
This is my kid.
Yeah, he comes out from behind him looking like,
whoops.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And you know part of him doesn't.
So last but not least, I mean, the only person we haven't heard here about their take on the movie is myself. Surprisingly, right? I mean, I'm always talking. I ain't say nothing. But you know, I'm the last one. I don't want to just peg on everything else everybody else has said. At the same time, you know, I need to go against the current, because you know that's kind of what New Yorkers do. So in my opinion, I think this movie deserved an Oscar. It's in my top 1 movies.
You're lying.
And so, you know, that's where I am. You know what I mean, with this movie.
And that's why you're wearing that cap.
Explain this, homie.
That's why you're wearing the cap right now. Take it off, brother.
No, seriously.
Take it off.
I had, you know, because when Fox started, he was going in. He was like, yo, I wouldn't watch this on a VHS if it was. I was like, dang, yeah, this is crazy. But no. Listen. Seriously though, I agree with a lot of the points that you guys made. There was wasted opportunities there for certain characters. There was some really heartwarming moments that they should have expounded upon. There was humor. I went in there with exactly. There was a humor. I mean, one of those things saying, you know, how many holes does he have? You know what I mean? How many holes does he have? You know, and then finally he's like, a hole. You know.
Yeah. I actually had to count.
He pulls a Groot. He pulls a
Groot. I'm not gonna lie. When they said the number of holes, I was like,
I was doing the
I
same
got
thing.
that myself, man. I had to count myself. I was like, oh shit.
When Scott said 7, I'm like, yeah, that's right, because I was like,
yeah.
He had a
trying my
thing.
best to not count.
And yes,
I'm
the
like,
humor.
don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, look, yes. So basically, I'm calling upon a lot of the other stuff that you guys said, and I just don't want to reiterate it. But I definitely concur. But one of the things is like, it's just, there was a lot of like just funny, humorous moments in there that we should give some of the writers credit for. I laughed. I laughed at a lot of the stuff. But unfortunately, I laughed at some of the stuff that they wanted us to take seriously. So that's when you're like, come on, bro. Like, seriously.
like broccoli.
So
I like the broccoli scene. I'm not gonna lie. I'll admit, when because like Hank was being so serious at first, like, oh my goodness, this audience, this guy looks like broccoli. I was like, okay, that's actually kind of funny because you're trying to be serious, and then like you just see this head of broccoli. Like,
I know.
You got me there.
And then for me personally, as I was sitting in the theater, as MODOK was dying in Avenger, like I was like,
that killed me.
The looks that they had.
I don't stop.
The looks that they had.
Going out like that, like, you know what I mean? Like I was in my feels.
He said, I'm going out like an Avenger, and Scott and Hope look at each other like, and Hope get him and look like, just let him go with it. Just let him have it. Let him have it.
Yeah.
Let him have the moment.
And you in there.
You're not going on a plaque nowhere though, my guy. We go right here.
You're staying right here, yeah. Although I will say,
you're in.
that did make up for the sudden turn that came out of nowhere. I was like, that's really stupid. I don't know why you did it like that. Like, he was already dying. Let him die. But they kind of had to, like, I guess they had to like, well, Cassie can't kill him. We don't want Cassie to be the one to kill him. So instead,
he hated her so much, and I'm like, she was a kid. Yeah, she's never really done anything to you.
He hates her dad so much. Like, I'm gonna take your kid away. Like man, that's the only person in comic book history who's a bigger hater than that is probably Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Like, Reverse Flash would have had it done.
Right.
Like that's the only difference.
We're done here. Let me take care of this because I want you to suffer.
Yeah, like Reverse Flash would have actually had it done. MODOK was kind of for an organism that was made for killing. There's a whole lot of killing, my guy. You were kind of missing, but yeah.
you were causing damage.
yeah.
So hey, guys, so we're gonna wrap things up a little, but I really need to ask, right? Moving forward, what are is anybody excited for the next Guardians of the Galaxy? What's your take on how you're gonna come away from that? Like, if so Kira, like, go ahead.
Oh, it's we not just crying, like weeping.
Okay,
because we don't know
weeping
what we're in for
in this movie. I will be distraught. I am not a Guardians of the Galaxy fan. But I know this is going to hurt. Okay. It's going to hurt.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Mr. Fury.
I will say this: if they take Peter away from Mantis after finding out that's his sister, I'm going to be pissed. I was like, I'm going to be pissed no matter who it is they take. But I've had a theory that it's probably going to be Drax. I hate for it to be Rocket. I hate for it to be Peter or Mantis, because Drax's story is done. His story is done. He's gotten his revenge. He's gotten the people that killed his family. He's there for comic relief at this point. Mm-hmm. Although I wouldn't mind another Mantis and Drax adventure. That I don't. I would love to have another one of those.
They have some good chemistry. Oddly enough,
they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Fox, Guardians of the Galaxy. What's up?
Other than King's Dynasty, this is the movie I'm looking forward to. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I really liked the first one. It was a surprise hit for me. Volume 2, while it has issues, I really enjoyed where they were taking the characters. And for 3, James Gunn is not afraid to kill off characters, and I love I love it. I love it when writers and directors aren't afraid to kill off characters. Because Yondu, he could have stayed around.
Yeah,
but the point that they
was heart-wrenching.
Yeah, the way they took that away from Peter after they went this whole like, your dad is actually a god, now you got to destroy him, and in the end, like, you're
finding out Yondu really isn't all that of a bad guy, like he's making it out to be. It was just like, oh man, come on.
So I really love that with James Gunn, and from the way James Gunn is showing, is like, I'm gonna take Drax. I might take Rocket. I might take both. I don't know.
Somebody's getting taken.
Yeah, one of your Guardians is gone. All right, this is it.
Yeah, it's gone.
I know I'm done. I forgot the actor name who played Drax. He's been doing so much.
David
stuff.
Bautista.
Yeah, David Bautista. He's done. He's not gonna do any more without James. James is out doing stuff with DC.
He wants to go to DC. He's ready. He said wherever. He's like wherever James is going, I want to be there.
I'm gone.
That's the LeBron James and Dwayne Wade combination right there. That's the like I'll go you go kind of deal right there. So they showed Drax with a chest wound, kind of hurt, and in the first trailer we saw Peter crying with someone on an operating table. We don't know what that's about. I don't know. I'm putting two and two together as a theory. But if they kill off Rocket, I'm gonna be super sad because I like Rocket and Drax. Those are my two favorite characters in the movie. And I think for James, he knows everybody loves Rocket and everybody loves Drax. So taking those two away from us, that'd be heartbreaking.
Two things are for certain for this film. Somebody or somebodies will die, and we're going to get a bomb soundtrack. I know those.
James Gunn has me listening to his music that if I would have heard before Guardians, I'd have been like,
I ain't watching that. I ain't listening.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that.
So far between Guardians Volume 1, Volume 2, and Peacemaker, I'm like, why is this music so damn good?
Yeah, like I know I was not checking for this in the 80s. Absolutely not.
I was in my hip hop though. I was in my hip hop bag. I was like, they were putting this out. Let me go take this.
You really wanted to? Yeah, no, that's a
He reviving rockers' careers and everything.
Man, bro,
like, yo.
you got me listening to Pina Colada and stuff. I'm like, like I used to listen. I listened to Pina Colada like once or twice. Like, that's kind of funny because like I was in a restaurant. That was like their whole deal. Like Pina Coladas. I was like, that's kind of a funny song because it fit with the restaurant. Yeah, James Gunn got me like, I might listen to the whole album. I don't know yet. Like, forget it. Like, but I'm looking forward to Guardians 3.
Absolutely. Hey, listen. So coming at you live from Anime Corpus Christi. It's been a very enjoyable time with you guys. We said it privately and we say it publicly right now. We can't appreciate you enough in your time tonight. And we hope to continue to foster really positive relationships with everybody here. I mean, coming on your platforms, we're down. Trust is earned. We got a couple of creeds here at Anime, and please, once again, just to wrap things up, everybody just hit me with who you are, where people can catch you from. So Kira.
I am Kira, also aka Lady Mandalore. You can find me on mainly Instagram under A Room Full of Blurs. You can also check out my TikTok, which is under Child of Mandalore. I have a podcast. I'm putting a lot of information. I do a lot of stuff. I have a podcast called Child of Mandalore as well. And I talk about the history of Mandalore. That's oh, I'm on Fanbase also, which is a lovely app. It's I am in a audio chat room every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a good time. We talk about pop culture. It's basically this, but everybody's invited.
Okay. And Mr. Fury.
It's your man on the wall, Chris Fury. You can catch BlerdsEyeview on IG, and you can find the link in the bio to find us wherever you listen to your podcast and where you can find us and watch us live. Tuesdays, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch handle BlerdsEyeview1. Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Same channels. And go to the YouTube channel, watch past episodes, listen to us on Spotify, Google, Apple, the whole nine. We're everywhere. You'll hear myself and Kira and the Black Spartan and the Cinematic Assassin, and we just have a lot of fun with our guests and amongst ourselves. It seems everybody is really in a rage right now. They want us to do another fan cast, so I'm putting something together. So
hell yeah. All right, Mr. Fox, man, what's up?
As for me, of course, I am also on a whole lot of stuff because I have been busy. Of course, you can call me Michael, Fox Daddy, Fox, whichever fits your fancy, whichever makes you feel less weird about talking to me. I'm completely okay with that. You can find me on Twitter at M_MOSLEY_JR. If you find a weirder on a Fox hoodie, congratulations, you're in the right place. I was going to wear it for this show, but I was like, there's too much. I'll go ahead and just be me. I don't think anybody's going to dress up. You ask these guys, I usually wear a Fox hoodie. Like that was kind of like my brand thing. Yep. You can also find me on Twitch, also at Fox Daddy. That's F0XDADDY. I'm also on TikTok with Fox Daddy. That's F0X_DADDY. And of course, I am also on Power Up and Game. You see a new episode of that every Saturday on anywhere that you have podcasts, Apple Music, well, Apple Podcasts, I suppose, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast goodness there, we should be there. Also, you guys talking about, did you at a convention? As I mentioned before, I travel around, I do panels at conventions. Right, my next convention is actually at the end of March, from March 31st through April 2nd. I will be in Las Vegas for SumiCon. It's an adults only convention, and it would be the second adults only convention I've been invited to. So I don't know what this is about me and what I've been doing, but hey,
sounds saucy.
Right? I'm completely okay with that. So if you're in Las Vegas and you notice this handsome face, don't be afraid to say hi. I would really appreciate it because I'm probably gonna feel lonely.
Yeah, and then hey, I got a chance to actually sit in on Mr. Fox's panel, and it was awesome. It was a lot of useful information there too, and we plan on doing something with that content. And yeah, we're gonna hit here, we're gonna wrap it up. So once again, it was
Ueda
and Tanaka. We're gonna try something here, and this is how we're gonna be ending our episodes. I really hope I don't mess it up. I really hope you don't mess it up. Let's try it. All right. Okay. So all right, here we do it. Okay. Here we go. So left, right, up, down, upside down. No matter how you look at it, at the end of the day,
this is the way.
All right. So appreciate you guys. Take care.
I like it.
This is the way.